Playdate. Will clung to his mother's hand as they walked across the busy street. He normally wouldn't hold his mother's hand. He was 7 now, but the street was busy, and though he wouldn't admit it, he was afraid of falling behind or getting run over. Besides, today they were going to see his only friend, so he could make exceptions. His friend was a girl, but she could keep up with him, and they spent hours on end playing pretend in her room or in the yard or wherever they were together. Sometimes Will's mom and Abby's mom took them to the park so they could play there. But today it was just to Abby's house to play in the basement while the grown-ups talked about stuff. So, when they got across the street, Will let go of his mother's hand and darted towards Abby's house, no longer capable of waiting. He'd already rung the doorbell twice and was going for a third when his mother caught his hand and stopped him. "Be polite, Will," she chided. It seemed to take forever for Abby's mom to get to the door. Will looked up at his mom, rocking back and forth impatiently. She smiled and wrapped an arm around his shoulders. He wanted to shrug it off, but it was soothing. Finally, the knob turned and the door creaked open. Will barely had time to shout a greeting to Abby's mom before he was in the house and searching for his playmate. His mother laughed and moved into the parlor to talk with her old friend. "Hi, Abby," Will said, skidding to a stop about a foot from her. "How come your mom's tummy is so big?" Will sighed. It was so hard to get her to say hi back. "'Cause she's gonna have a baby, duh," Will said, full of knowledge on the subject. "What kind of baby?" Abby asked, cocking her head to the side out of curiosity. "I don't know. She doesn't know yet. She said it's too soon to know. But I'm going to be a big brother, so that's cool." Will smiled. He was inwardly excited about that. Abby nodded, took his hand, and they headed for the basement, which was the toy room. They had a wonderful day. Will had been all of the bad guys, and at one point in time he'd managed to capture the princess and throw her in the dungeon. Abby was upset about that, and had sent the best knight and his noble steed to vanquish the monster and save the princess. Then Will had become a thief. The best thief there ever was, and he even stole the princess's heart right out from under her nose. Space monkeys attacked then, and all too soon it was time to go. Some years later, Will rolled over and looked at the sleeping girl next to him. Somehow, after all those years of playdates and pushing her down in the mud and telling her that girls had cooties, she'd turned pretty. The way she cocked her head to the side when she was curious, how she never said hi back but just started in on the conversation, it was all pretty. He'd turned out to be quite the thief after all. He rolled over again, tucking under the covers and smiling to himself. If he ever had to love anybody, he hoped it would be her. Hey guys, Untapped Inkwell here. I hope you enjoyed that story. That was Playdate. It's the first part of one of the stories that I'm cataloging on my blog, which I will put the link to below. And I hope you guys liked it, and have a great day.